Goeiedag, good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And just yesterday, I put up a video about the comparison between how Vicky Momberg has been treated and how this unidentified black woman was treated when they both abused the police. And you can go back into the videos and you'll find it very, very easily if you want to go and have a look. But this is the reality of what is happening in South Africa today. And I would call this one of the areas of a black privilege. You can actually attack people. You can intimidate people as black thugs and black gangs with pangas and stuff like that. You can even kill people who are in the minority group, largely white people. And if those white people confront you and they use language which you consider racist, the attack that takes place is not covered by the media, but the claims of racism are. And this is a classic example of what I'm talking about. And I'm just going to read to you what Wayne wrote to me. And he said, "Hi, Scott. The following incident that happened to my family is a true indication of the upside-down politics and fake news that empowers the criminals in South Africa today." 100% behind you, buddy. A few weeks ago, an 18-year-old family friend of ours, Song, took our dog for a mid-morning walk on a KwaZulu-Natal South Coast beach. There were two garden service ladies sitting on the side of the road when he got there. However, after the walk, on his way back up the path from the beach, he noticed 10 to 15 gardeners with pangas mobbing our old Nissan Bakkie, some even standing on the back. The ones next to the doors were trying to violently pull open the doors, that the car was rocking from side to side. When our dog saw this, she lunged so hard at them, she broke her leash. Song managed to hold her to the harness and hid in the bush undetected and called my son at home. Song must have been petrified. In the meantime, Song realized that these people saw that there was a gear lock in place. The mob then asked the ladies that Song had seen earlier where he, Song, had gone, and they indicated towards the beach. At which time 4 of them went into the bushes next to the path in order to ambush Song on his way back to the car. Okay, so they were going to ambush this guy. When my son received the call from Song, who was terrified for his life and was sure they would kill him if they found him, my son and I responded to his location, while my wife called the WhatsApp community group to ask for backup. We have these recordings. I took a pellet gun and a panga. My son took a stick. Shortly after the 4 guys hid in the bush to ambush Song, we arrived, and as Song has told us, we found 10 to 15 people all around our bakkie, some still standing on the back, none in full uniforms or overalls, mostly wearing political party shirts. There was garden cleaning equipment everywhere, including on the back of my bakkie. I shouted at them and told them to get off my car. I then said that I wanted the ones who were trying to break into my vehicle to come forward, as I wanted to make a citizen arrest. But this was a joke to them. The hatred I felt from these people there that day was pure evil. I caught them red-handed, doing just as Song had described on the phone to us. They didn't care. They swore at me, showing me their pangas, and didn't make any effort to move away from the vehicle. I continued to shout at them and warn them I was going to call the cops, to no avail. It was only when one of the women saw I had a pellet gun that they reluctantly backed off. I then called Song to get in the bakkie and we left. It wasn't for the fact that I'd bought a real firearm, we could have been chopped into pieces. I have no doubt that a softer target would have ended in another rape murder case. They were waiting in the bush next to the path with pangas for Song to come back. He saw them still there when I called him to come to get in the car. I believe they decided to ambush Song. in part because the bucky had a gear lock in place, and in part because they believed they could get away with it. When we got home, the damage to the bucky was obvious, but we decided for the sake of peace not to press charges. In my mind, no one was hurt, and I didn't want to go back down there to find out who those people were. A few days later, my wife gets a call from a police sergeant who wants a statement from us because a case of racism has been opened against me by municipal workers. I was then sent a newspaper clipping showing me to be some racist that the mayor now wanted to make an example of. And I will be showing that newspaper article now. Here we go. Okay, here's the original article, and I'm going to read this because a lot of you probably won't be able to see what it says, but if you're on a computer, you should be able to. And it's written by the Rising Sun community newspapers. It's a Caxton associated company. I think it's actually the Phoenix Sun, but it's certainly a Caxton newspaper. And here is the article. Mayor condemns ill treatment of staff by community members. The mayor of Umduni, Councillor Tabani Dubi, expressed his displeasure at the distasteful actions by certain community members who verbally abused and intimidated 10 staff members on duty at the extended public works program at the Sugar Beach Resort on Monday. The municipality has taken serious steps to deal with the matter. A case against the perpetrators has been opened at the Scottsboro South African Police Service, and the municipality strongly believes that the law will give serious attention to this matter. According to the statement made by the employees to the police, when they arrived at their work site on Monday morning, there was a white bucky parked on the side of the road, and the staff sat next to it to have their breakfast before the start of the day. So they weren't touching it. They weren't trying to break into it, according to them. This is what's reported in the paper. Remember, this is a paper that refused to talk to the victim, which is clearly the white person who owned the bucky. A few minutes later, a white Mercedes-Benz sped towards them, and 2 white men alighted. One was armed with a firearm, a knife, and another weapon. He accused the staff members of trying to steal the bucky. He apparently used foul language, swearing at and cursing them. After this, a young lad appeared to be the son of the man that appeared from the nearby bush with his dog. They got into their separate cars and drove off. 3 vehicles believed to be from the neighborhood watch arrived, and the men in the cars asked the employees what they were doing on the site. It is unacceptable that people of color still suffer racist attacks after 25 years of democracy. What? Whoever wrote this article is just ridiculous. And it's the Umdoni municipality. Ms. Sifaleli Sele, you can see at the bottom, manager communications. You know, this is just ridiculous. Anyway, continuing with the article. There was a total disregard of the fact that the employees were wearing clearly branded working uniforms. The municipality confirms that the municipality condemns all forms of harassment of employees and takes a view that stern action must be taken against the perpetrators. Acts of racism and racial discrimination against any member of the public must not be ignored, and the public is urged to report treatment of this nature through the appropriate channels. Absolutely ridiculous. At no stage did the newspaper or the mayor or the municipality approach me to find out my side of the story. About 2 weeks after, another local newspaper took my statement and published an article, and let's have a look at that story. Okay, let's start off with the article that appeared in the South Coast Herald. And the headline is, War of Worlds at Elysium Beach leads to a race row. Umdoni Municipality Mayor Tabani Dubi releases a press statement condemning the alleged ill treatment of the municipal workers. And I'm reading this out because a lot of my viewers have it on their little mobile phones and they won't be able to read it. So I'm going to read out what's actually in this article, and those who've got computers should be able to read it. But it reads as follows. Claims of racism on the south coast have surfaced after an altercation between municipal workers and a family at Elysium. This after the K word was allegedly used in a war of words between workers and a local resident. On the morning of May the 20th, a man, 18, staying with friends, took his host dog to the beach at Elysium. Municipal workers not in uniform were in close proximity where he had parked the family's bakkie. He and two female workers exchanged friendly greetings and he continued on to the beach. When he made his way back to the vehicle after the walk, he spotted a group of people, later established to be the same municipal workers, heading in the same direction. He decided to hang back as he was unsure as to how the pit bull would react. Not long after, he saw what he described as a mob of men brandishing pangas who appeared to be trying to force their way into the bakkie. Fearful for his safety, he hid in the bush and contacted the family with whom he was staying. In a WhatsApp voice note, a woman can be heard asking the Elysium 9/11 Community Forum to send security to the beach. The teen's host, aged 47, went down to the beach with his 19-year-old son. Unsure of what he had faced, he armed himself with a pellet gun, panga, and stick. When we arrived at the beach, people were hacking at the bakkie with pangas, presumably trying to break into the vehicle. An argument ensued, during which the man said he and his son were verbally abused and threatened with pangas. They ordered us to leave, he said. When the two female municipal workers spotted the pellet gun, they told the group, and things subsequently cooled down. The man called out to the teen who was hiding in the bush with the dog, and they left. Shortly thereafter, Elysium 9/11 Community Forum members arrived and asked the group if they had intended to steal the vehicle, which was later inspected by a panel beater, who determined the damage was about 5,000 rand. Umdoni Municipal Mayor Tabani Dubi released a press statement condemning the alleged ill treatment of the municipal workers. A case against the perpetrators has been opened at the Scottsboro South African Police Service, and we strongly believe the law will give serious attention to this matter, said Umdoni Municipality Communications Officer Safili Sele. The matter is now being investigated by the Hebridean South African Police Service. The statement said the municipal workers were at the site where the bakkie was parked, and moments later a sedan sped towards them. Two men stepped out, one in possession of a firearm, knife, and another weapon. The man accused the workers of trying to steal the bakkie. He apparently used foul language, swearing, cursing, and calling them the K word, said Ms. Zelle. The men, however, have refuted these claims, saying no such language had been used, and they were more concerned about getting the friend to safety, as they believed the men were trying to break into the vehicle. Elysium 9/11, indirectly linked to the incident, has demanded an apology and a retraction of the press release. And that's where the article ends. To date, I still haven't given my statement, even though I've been to the police station several times. It seems a sergeant is on leave until the 18th of June. I'm hoping that based on our substantial evidence, i.e. phone recordings, the damage to my vehicle, and the fact I don't own a firearm or firearm license, will be sufficient for these people to withdraw the case against me and retract the fake news article. For the sake of police, I will not press charges for defamation, damage to my vehicle, attempted vehicle theft, or intimidation, but I reserve my rights in this. I would like the public to be aware that even if criminals are caught red-handed, the fact that you are white still opens you up to them saying you call them the K word. And this lets our beloved politicians climb on the bandwagon. Absurd. All my South African friends and colleagues of all races can testify to me not being racist. And quite frankly, we are getting very tired of this being used for political gain and leverage while our country crumbles around us. Now, I have to say that this is really the nitty-gritty of what's going on. The mainstream media are such fake news. You know, when it doesn't suit the narrative, you could be tortured and thrown into in bits into a bin, and they won't touch it. But someone allegedly says a K word, and that is news. This is bullshit. And I'm calling the mainstream media out and the legacy media out as what they are, and that is fake news. Please remember to subscribe to be kept informed, ring the bell for the updates, and have a great day.